A few days ago, I was on a roll. I was chatting with strangers, throwing out Mexican slang, really feeling like a local. And then, out of nowhere, boom! My brain stopped working. You've been there, right? Don't lie. I know you have. Let me take you back to that day. Because I was just walking through the city after doing some chores and I had nothing else to do, nowhere to be, no real goal in mind. I was just strolling through the streets, taking in the day and enjoying myself. I made a small stop at a corner store to grab myself a water and a coffee. And when I was paying at the counter, it felt effortless. I could speak Spanish without thinking. I did not have to think for my words, and I even joked around with the guy working there, and he was so happy for me to speak Spanish, and that lifted me up. His good attitude lifted me up, and the fact that I just without thinking could speak Spanish so well. And so I kept on walking. And even with these people that try to sell you things on the street or for a charity, whatever, the people with a small tent that say hey, you have a minute to talk about whatever? Yeah, I thought whatever. And we joked. And for everybody that learned a second language or a third language, any new language, the moment you're really able to use humor and understand humor, that's it. You're done. And I'm not there at all with my Spanish, but that day I was. And it felt I was floating. And with that, the sun was shining. It smelled nice. The birds were chirping. I felt like a Disney princess. Really. I was just out of my mind with confidence and feel-good energy. And as I was walking, I came around a corner and saw a super cool shop. It looked really nice. They had some plants outside. The whole front could be opened. It smelled amazing. And I looked closer what it was. And turns out it was a specialty shop for chocolate. They made their own chocolate out of different cacao beans with hot chocolates, but you could also buy their products there in a small mini shop inside the shop. And I was super interested. I need to go. The music was super nice. It looked really inviting and warm, and the people that were sitting there looked super content. The people working there looked happy. And when you enter to the right, there was a small mini shop where they sold their own products. And there was one person busy attending to 2 customers, and one worker was straight when you went in a small bar. And between us were chairs and tables with customers sitting. And he smiled at me, that's my sign. Let's go inside. Let's have a treat to really emphasize how wonderful I feel right now. The second I stepped through this door, it was over. It was my brain got wiped blank and I forgot how to be human. I stood there in the middle of the room with all the panic thoughts you can imagine. Should I go to the counter and order there? Or should I sit on the table and wait for them to come to take my order, like in a restaurant? But what if I sit down and expect them to come, but I should actually went to the counter and order? How rude! I cannot do that. What if? A million what ifs. What would you do in my situation? Yeah, it was none of these options. While I was standing there in the middle of the room, staring into nothingness, it felt like an eternity. I think in reality it was kind of like just 10 seconds. But everybody that ever done planks knows how long 10 seconds can be. And for every single one of these seconds, I wanted to vanish. I did not want it to be in this situation any longer. In the end, the waiter behind the counter was the one approaching me and snapping me out of my spiral and my endless doom by asking me in English, "Hey, can I help you?" And yeah, I really needed help. So I ordered a hot chocolate and sat down. Finally snapped out of my self-imposed hypnosis, my brain started to spiral because I got snapped out of my super high confidence of, look at me, I'm a local. I can speak Spanish so well. I can even make jokes and understand humor. Back into reality of, I'm really not that great. I get by, but that's it. And in that moment, I just felt everybody's looking at me. The waiters, for sure, making fun of me in the kitchen. They will talk about that at the company Christmas party. They were like, remember the gringo stepping into the shop and standing there like a deer looking into the headlights, like an idiot? All the customers there in the shop secretly giggled and side-eyed me. 100%. That's what's happening. That's what's going on now. No way around it. 100% truth. Or at least that was what I was thinking in the moment. Or on really bad days thinking now. But let's be honest. How often do we actually remember specific people that we just met on the street, that maybe even something funny happened to them? I could never recognize them, ever. We all do that to ourselves. We're super aware about ourselves in public. But that's the thing. We're all so obsessed with not making a fool of ourselves in public. And, oh, do I just stand weird? Do I sound strange? Whatever. That we, in all honesty, don't really pay attention to the details people do around us. And if we do, and we talk some chisme, what's it called? I forgot. When we talk about something with our friends, like, look, I don't know, whatever, that looks weird from this person, whatever. We all do that. You're not more morally high than I am. But we don't remember the people. It's just a funny moment over a coffee or over dinner or after the movies. We don't really remember. So I maybe should have just enjoyed my hot chocolate a little bit more and don't stress so much about what happened or the moment or any of that, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that we enjoy the moment and don't let us get distracted from what other people might think. Yeah, I made a fool out of myself. We all do. And I'm so sure I made a fool of myself a million times while I was thinking I'm really cool. So it's all in our head. And sometimes we need to humble ourselves a little bit more because we're not the main character. We are the main character in our own lives, but not in other people's lives. Tone it down a little and don't assume other people will talk about us for days, because they won't. They don't care. Calm down. We're all in this together. But it's a good thing. It means we can enjoy more. We can loosen up. And if we catch ourselves spiraling like me, laugh about it. Let the moment pass and laugh about it and enjoy it. If you're into it and want to hear me talk about perfectionism a little bit more, I have a video linked here in the description. Other than that, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. And also everybody that ever... There goes the light. Okay. I will continue in a second when there's light again.